Hello and welcome. I'm Matthew from Rosie and Rosie, investment property specialists, helping you invest in property with confidence. Today, we're joined by wealth coach Craig Parry from Crown Money Management. Crown Money Management is Australia's leading specialist in debt and money management. Welcome, Craig, and thanks for having us.
Thank you, Matt. Lovely to be here.
Craig, today I want to talk to you about the upcoming RBA Cash Rate announcement. Rather than reflect on what happens after the event, I'd like to ask you about what you think might happen on the first Tuesday in June and what you think the banks might do in response. So, Craig, what can you tell us about the recent history of the RBA's monetary policy decisions?
Great question, Matt. The recent history is really sort of we've hit record levels now with the RBA cash rate being on hold at that 1.5% for now 18 months, which, as I said, is a record. So, we'd hate to upset the apple cart here and make it a prediction that they are going to up it. So, as I said, my prediction would be that that's going to remain stagnant probably for the next 2 or 3 months. I would like to see probably in the last quarter of the year. I'd probably suggest that we may see an increase in the RBA cash rate to move up. I don't think they're certainly going to come down from this point. So, my prediction, Matt, would be that in the last quarter of 2018, we should see some slight movements with an increase to the RBA cash rate.
Now, the major lenders are known to move despite the cash rate moving. That may not be the case since the Royal Commission has come around, but what do you think the Big Four will do in the next quarter or so?
Look, sure. Last year, as you probably know, most banks increased their interest rates twice in the year. And as I said, that's obviously to bring on more profit for the banks, no doubt. And as I said, with the Royal Commission, what's happened there at the moment, I don't think realistically they're going to make any sort of quick movements in relation to interest rates, I'd say, over the next 2 or 3 months. But certainly, I think towards the latter half of the year, they'll be looking to increase rates again, unfortunately, and that can be outside the RBA cash rate. So not necessarily do they need the RBA cash rate to move for them to increase their rates.
Yeah. The Big Four are not the only lenders in the market. Craig, tell us who else is on your radar offering competitive rates of terms at the moment?
Sure, great question. So outside of the Big Four, which is where majority of people go, I mean, CBA's obviously got the market sewn up at this stage. A lot of Australians do have their loans with CBA currently. Outside of that, we've got some really great non-bank lenders that are really providing some sharp interest rates into the market. So, you can go through a mortgage manager. Better Choice are obviously putting out some very sharp deals at the moment. They're essentially a mortgage manager, but they have the relationship with like an Adelaide Bank or a Resimac, where they can put out an interest rate right now of 3.55%. For an owner-occupied under 80% LVR, which is a very, very sort of sharp rate, and they are tending now to obviously be a lot sharper than what the Big Four are.
And of course, you've got access to an interesting product, the Rate Reducer, which we'll be doing a podcast on about that very soon. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Craig, do you have any other tips specifically for investors looking for funding or refinancing at the moment?
Look, so probably over the last, let's call it 12 months, there has been some sort of, it's been very tight to be able to get investment interest loans on interest only, especially. So what happened was interest rates have been the cheapest they have been in Australia's history. So what happened was all the investors jumped on board. They then started purchasing investment properties and setting their loans on interest only. And unfortunately, what that did was it unbalanced the bank's books. So the banks are only allowed to have a certain amount of principal and interest owner-occupied debt versus investment interest-only debt. So we saw just a really sort of a big push from the banks back to the consumers saying, hey, guys, we actually have too much interest-only debt at the moment. We're either going to increase our rates, which is what we saw with interest-only loans. There was a huge spike in rates, or they're going to put out, and they were, cheaper interest rates for investments as long as you set them on a principal and interest repayment. That's now sort of all settled down. So the banks have sort of opened up again, and they're now accepting interest-only loans again, and those interest rates, should sort of remain where they are currently. But there was an interesting time in this sort of space. It was about a 6 to 12 month hold where people really struggled to get interest loans for investment properties. But certainly surround yourself with a quality team, like a property manager, also your mortgage broker, a money manager, financial advisor, just to ensure that you're getting the right information from those business professionals in their specific sort of industries and areas.
Right. Fantastic, and thank you again for joining us today, Craig.
You're welcome.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today, but before you go, Craig, please tell us how can people follow or get in contact with you?
Yeah, sure, Matt. So yeah, I've got my mobile number. We can get in contact, which is 0415 888 203. Very easy number. Or you can catch me on the email address, which is craig@crownwealthcoach.com.au.
Great. I'll put that in the description as well. Thanks, Craig. We certainly look forward to having you back. And again, stay tuned if you're interested in hearing more about the rate reducer product. We'll do another podcast on that very soon. Thank you for joining us too. We hope you found Craig's insights to be useful. If you have any questions for Craig, I'm sure he'd only be too happy to hear from you. Similarly, if you have any questions, queries or feedback for us, do send it in, comment below or email hello@rosieandrosie.com.au. We'd be very happy to hear from you too. It's been a pleasure having you with us again, but this time it's time for us to go. Until next time, I'm Matthew from Rosie and Rosie, helping you invest in property with